হাইনো হাইলাম সগজতর্ণ তিনি কয়েকদিন পরে ভিডিও মাতু বিখা কিজা কাম তমন লগে ভিডিও আপলোড খেমলি হাউএভার नायलिनि तीन टपिक टाम नायदि जों सिलेबास नाइन एके फरेस्टार बा फरेस्ट गार्ड आरो लॉस नि कायसा टपिक दं लॉस माने फरेस्ट रिलेटेड लॉ फरेस्ट नि रिलेटेड जे लॉस दं माने सो नायलिनि जों मेनलि फरेस्ट रिलेटेड लॉ ताम ताम दं इंडियन फरेस्ट एक्ट नि ऊपर क्वेश्चन फाइमानो वाइल्डलाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट 1972 फरेस्ट कंजर्वेशन एक्ट 1980 the Environmental Protection Act 1986, National Forest Policy 1988, Biodiversity Act 2002. So, more on you, Porono, question 5. These are the laws. More on Ain. Forest related, the Ain, Tomachin Ain Kanun. Omoni Andaruno, Mungo Kayuta. The sections of Toman. So, Tini, Joto laws to Tini cover Kemia, Tini, mainly Cheng, Omoni Upora, Mungo Kaina. So next video rok jodi follow kai gen omoron uporobo questions nung nai gai leya kari chenglane Indian Forest Act 1927 so mo screenshot na dinorok question phaiman orobo bufro o act enacted ang rokni question phaiman 1927 1972 mo screenshot na report de ekdom question finane ekdom chance dong so tini Indian Forest Act 1927 ni uporo question nailene cheng First question. Acha, first question is gang chengki jodi explain khane nadi Indian Forest Act bufro enacted in bufro lagu 1927, right? So o act ba o aino koita chapter tong total 13 ta chapters tong question phai mano how many chapters are there in the Indian Forest Act 1927? Answer should be tamo 13 chapters. Koita sections tong how many sections? 86 sections. ठीक है প্রতিটা চ্যাপ্টারও না কয়েকটা খাই সেকশন তো আটিকে টোটাল 13 চ্যাপ্টার 86 টা সেকশনস তো অমনে উপরবে কোয়েশ্চন পাইবন 13 চ্যাপ্টার 86 সেকশনস ঠিক है then first MCQ nadi in which year was the Indian Forest Act enacted so motto 1927 second question the Indian Forest Act 1927 mainly deals with tambe deal kai option B that is regulation of forest and forest produce forest no regulate khane plus forest produce tamno hin जों जे bolongni mani mama rom di timber kat phainang di bina hoite firewood phainang di je kono ta forest ni hoite जों je mani man ठीक है next question which authority has the power to declare reserve forest under the act so Indian Forest Act 1927 ni under bo authority rong ni power tong je kono jaga nam je kono bolong na reserve forest in declare khainen amne answer ka state government ठीक है state government nok je kono forest area ठीक है মানে গভর্নমেন্ট নি যে আন্ডারে যে জায়গা তং মানে আরো ফরেস্ট তং কে আটি হাই জায়গা নম্বর রিজার্ভ ফরেস্ট ইন ডিক্লেয়ার খাইমন next question reserve forest are notified under which section of the Indian Forest Act 1997 okay section 20 ठीक है next question which category of forest enjoys highest degree of protection ठीक है so Indian Forest Act ni under or law ni according ba or act ni according forest no three type of classify khajo one ke reserve forest second ke protected forest and third ke village forest ठीक है so amon bising joton bisi high protection of bo forest tong manso so apne answer ke reserve forest ठीक है ang modike phunung na reserve forest ni pore ke mo protected forest ni pore ke village forest মানে যতনে হাই প্রটেকশন হবো তো রিজার্ভ ফরেস্ট নি পরে protected forest নি পরে কে village forest so mo question phai mano Indian Forest Act ni under forest no koi prokaro classify khaija kai so answer should be into three classification or three type that is reserve forest protected forest and village forest next question is protected forests are declared under which section of the act ठीक है so protected forests under section 29 ठीक है so this under this act we have 13 chapters right chapter 2 deals with reserve forests ठीक है chapter 3 deals with village forests and chapter 4 deals with protected forests. ठीक है सो और जे चैप्टर 4 कर दे और चैप्टर 4 ने अंदर ना मो सेक्शन 29 बताऊंगा था ठीक है सो प्रोटेक्टेड फॉरेस्ट आर डिक्लेयर अंडर व्हिच सेक्शन ऑफ द एक्ट सेक्शन 29 वो चैप्टर 4 ठीक है next question which officer is appointed to settle claim during declaration of reserve forest answer is forest settlement officer next question which of the following is prohibited inside a reserve forest inside a no no ang thajing saka as I have already told you that reserve forest what enjoys the highest degree of protection means it is the most highly protected forest according to the forest Indian Forest Act 1927 so aro কোনো activities no activity or no human activity is allowed ठीक है inside the reserve forest so oron bising grazing means mayang ada chari mani pun rong na musuk rong na fine grazing not allowed of course human activity felling of trees means cutting down of trees quarrying so none all sorry all of the above so none of these activities are allowed okay next question okay the Indian Forest Act was based largely on which of the earlier act that is Forest Act 1878 so during the British period more act on so omoni upora base khaina Indian Forest Act 1927 sanamjak okay next question which chapter of the act dealt with the reserve forest as I have already told you it is chapter 2 it deals with the reserve forest chapter 3 with the village forest and chapter 4 deals with the protected forest the Indian Forest Act extend to, of course, it will be to the whole of India. So, Indian Forest Act, joto jaga no lagu, whole of India, in India. Which of the following is included under forest produce? So, forest produce ne under bobo included. Saka forest produce means any produce by any product that we derive from the forest, be it a timber, cut, be it a resin, be it gum, be it a fuel wood, be it a honey, means anything that we derive from forest comes under forest produce. So answer is all of the above. That is option D. Next question. Which section deals with the act prohibited in reserve forest? That is section 26. So next question. Village forest cover under which chapter? That is chapter 3 as I have already told you. The Indian Forest Act primarily aims to regulate forest produce, transit and duties. Moto already angry pa which among the following can be declared as protected forest? So protected forest which can be declared government forest land, wasteland under government control, forest land with government rights. So these are the kind of land that can be declared a protected forest. So answer is option D. Which of the following is not a classification of Indian Forest Act? Classification of forest. Okay, as I have already told you that under the Indian Forest Act 1927, forests are classified into three types. That is reserve forest, protected forest and village forest. So the answer is biosphere forest. This is not a classification under the Indian Forest Act 1927. Next question is which section provide power to reserve forest? It is section 3. Which forest category allows limited right to local people for grazing and fuel wool collection? This is protected forest. Okay? Which among the following is considered a forest offense? Forest offense, of course, illegal cutting, setting fire, unauthorized. So these are forest offenses. All of them. The notification declaring a forest reserve is published in of course the official gazette of the state government. Which of the following is the correct classification of forest under the Indian Forest Act 1927? Option B, that is reserve forest, protected forest and village forest. Which chapter of the Indian Forest Act deals with penalties and procedures? So you have to name the chapter. As I have already told you, we have how many chapter? 13 chapter. So out of the 13 chapter, the 9th chapter deals with what? Penalties and procedures. So if anybody or anyone violate the Forest Act, so they will be imposed certain penalties which is uh, under the act, under this Forest Act. Under which section of the act does the state government have the authority to declare any forest land or wasteland a protected forest? So it is section 29. Next question. The movement of timber and other forest produce is primarily regulated by rules and passes under which section of the act? That is section 41. Which body or official is principally in charge of inquiring into and determining claims made during the settlement process of forest reserve? This is Forest Settlement Officer. Which section grants forest official the authority to arrest without a warrant if they suspect forest offences have been committed? Section 64, that is option B. Village forests are provided and constituted under which section of the Indian Forest Act 1927? Under section 28. Village forests. The Indian Forest Act 1927 was enacted to consolidate the law relating to forests and repeal which of the following? So repeal which of the following? Of course, option B. See, as I have told you, this Indian Forest Act was made largely based on Indian Forest Act 1870. So as the new act have already been enacted, this act has been repealed. So the answer will be Indian Forest Act 1878. So tinin bagi sanga belaka hambai no pathak jara gedal thong bagi. So o je forest related laws joto questions of mana angkan please channel subscribe khadi video follow khadi next ani update night only bufuro video phena and regularly nong bagi video tu nang chesta khane. I will try to complete all the topics given in the syllabus. So tinin bagi sanga thank you hambai.